2:17 a.m. I'm frozen in bed, clutching the blanket. My house is dead silent, until it's not. Thump. A heavy footstep echoes from upstairs, then another. Thump. Thump. Slow, deliberate. My stomach twists. I live alone. No one's supposed to be here. But something is walking above me, pacing in the dark. I can't breathe. I can't move. All I can do is listen as the footsteps get louder, closer. What's in my house? And why does it know my name? Hey everyone, buckle up. Because what I'm about to tell you isn't just a story. It's real. It's my nightmare. 6 months ago, I moved into a house that seemed like a dream. Quiet, cheap, perfect for a loner like me. But dreams don't come with footsteps, in the night. They don't come with whispers that chill your blood. This is the scariest thing I've ever lived through, and by the end, you'll be checking your own house for noises. Grab something to hold on to, dim the lights, and let's dive into the terror that turned my life upside down. I'm Ethan, a writer who thrives on solitude. That's why I chose this house, a crumbling old place at the edge of a nowhere town called Black Hollow. No neighbors for miles, just me, the woods, and a silence so deep it felt alive. The house was my escape from the world, a place to write my novel in peace. But peace didn't last. Something was already here, waiting in the shadows, and it didn't want me to leave. The house was a ghost of itself. Its wooden walls sagged like they were tired, and the windows rattled with every gust of wind, screaming secrets I couldn't understand. The air inside was heavy, thick with the smell of damp, wood and something sour like rotting fruit. It sat at the end of a muddy, twisting road, swallowed by a forest of gnarled, leafless trees that clawed at the sky. During the day, it was quiet, too quiet. At night, it came alive in ways that made my skin crawl. I moved in on a rainy October day, my boots sinking into the mud as I carried boxes inside. The house was cheap, a steal for its size, but it felt wrong. The realtor hadn't stayed long, her eyes darting to the ceiling like she heard something. I brushed it off. I'm a rational guy. Old houses creak. They settle. That's what I told myself as I unpacked, arranging my desk in the living room, my bed in the small bedroom down the hall. The attic door, bolted shut in the hallway, was the only thing I didn't touch. It gave me the chills, its rusted lock staring at me like an unblinking eye. For the first few days, it was fine. I'd write all night, the tap of my keyboard echoing in the silence. The isolation was perfect. No distractions, no noise. Just me and my story. A thriller about a man hunted by his past. Ironic, right? But on the 5th night, everything changed. It was past midnight, the world outside swallowed by darkness. I was deep in a scene, my fingers flying, when I heard it. Thump. A heavy, deliberate footstep from the ceiling. My hands froze. The sound was unmistakable. Boots on wood, slow and purposeful. Thump. Thump. 2 more steps, directly above me. My heart slammed against my ribs. I live alone. The house has 1 floor, with a locked attic above. No one could be up there. I sat there, staring at the ceiling, waiting for it to happen again. Silence. Minutes dragged by, each one heavier than the last. I tried to laugh it off, an animal, maybe a raccoon. But the steps were too heavy, too human. I grabbed my flashlight, its beam shaking in my hand, and checked the attic door. The bolt was locked, the dust undisturbed. No way anyone got in. I went back to bed, but sleep didn't come. My ears strained for every sound, and deep down, I knew something was wrong. The next night, it happened again. 2 a.m., like clockwork. Thump, thump, thump. The footsteps were louder, closer, like they were pacing right above my bedroom. I lay there, blanket pulled to my chin, my breath shallow. The air felt colder, heavier, like the house was holding its breath too. I told myself it was nothing, but my body wouldn't listen. My pulse raced, my skin prickled. I started noticing other things, small, but wrong. My coffee mug, always on the counter, was in the sink one morning. The living room lamp flickered, even after I changed the bulb. And once, just once, I swore I saw a shadow move in the hallway, quick and silent. I tried to focus on my writing, but the house wouldn't let me. Every creak, every gust of wind made me jump. I started keeping a notebook, jotting down every weird thing. Oct 10, footsteps at 2:03 a.m., 5 steps. Oct 11, mug moved again. I checked the attic door daily. Always locked. No footprints, no scratches. But the feeling of being watched grew stronger. You know that itch on your neck, like someone staring? It was constant. I'd spin around, expecting a face, a figure. Nothing. Just the house, silent and waiting. The footsteps didn't stop. They became my nightly torture. Some nights, it was just a few steps, slow and teasing. Others, it was hours of pacing, like something was trapped in the attic, desperate to escape. The sound changed too. Sometimes boots, sometimes bare feet, slapping the wood, wet and heavy. I stopped sleeping. My eyes burned, my hands shook. I'd sit in the living room, lights blazing, waiting for 2 a.m. to pass. But the footsteps weren't the only thing. One morning, I found my kitchen table set. 2 plates, 2 forks, like someone expected company. I live alone. I don't own 2 plates. My stomach churned as I threw them out, the clatter echoing in, the silent house. Another night, I woke to the sound of scratching, sharp, frantic, like nails clawing wood. It came from the attic door. I grabbed my phone, hands trembling, and recorded it. The sound stopped the second I hit play, but when I listened back, there it was. Scratch, 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 and something else. A whisper. Low, guttural. Ethan. My name hissed through the static. I started losing it. Was I crazy? Was the house messing with my head? I called a friend, Mike, to stay over. He's a skeptic, always laughing off my writer's imagination. He heard nothing that night. No footsteps, no whispers. But when he left, he looked pale. Your house feels heavy, he said. That's when I knew it wasn't just me. Something was here, and it was getting bolder. The disturbances grew darker. My bedroom door, always locked, swung open at night. I'd wake to the creak of hinges, the door wide, the hallway pitch black. I started sleeping with a knife under my pillow, its cold metal a small comfort. The air in the house changed too, thick, suffocating, like breathing through wet cloth. One night I found footprints in the dust by the attic door. Not mine. They were small, like a child's, but twisted, the toes too long. I scrubbed them away, my heart pounding, but they were back the next day. I bought a cheap audio recorder, setting it up every night. Most recordings were static, but some were worse. One caught a laugh, low, wet, like it came from a throat full of mud. Another had footsteps, not above me but in the room, circling my bed as I slept. I played it back, my skin crawling, and heard my own voice, mumbling in my sleep. She's here. I don't talk in my sleep. I don't know any she. I couldn't live like this. I had to know what was in my house. I drove to Black Hollow's library, a crumbling building with flickering lights and shelves of forgotten books. The librarian, an old woman with eyes like glass, watched me as I dug through records. I found it in a dusty folder, Black Hollow Register, 1953. Family vanishes from Hollow Roadhouse. A mother, Clara, her husband, Daniel, and their daughter, Lily, age 7. No bodies, no clues, just an empty house, the table set for 3. The article chilled me. Neighbors reported screams, lights flickering at night. One claimed to see a woman in white, her face wrong, standing in the attic window. The house was abandoned after that, called cursed. I kept digging. A later record mentioned a fire in the 1800s, killing a woman named Margaret, a recluse accused of witchcraft. Locals said her spirit never left. I laughed it off. Ghost stories, right? But my laugh was hollow. I met Carl, an old man who lived a mile away. He was my only neighbor, his house a shack buried in the woods. "You're in that house," he said, his voice low, his hands trembling. "Get out. She doesn't like guests." He spoke of a woman with no face, seen in the trees at night. "She takes what she wants," he whispered. I pressed him for more, but he shut the door, muttering prayers. That night, I found the box. In the attic, under a loose floorboard, was a wooden chest, its lid carved with strange symbols. Inside were photos of Clara, Daniel, and Lily, their eyes scratched out. A child's drawing of a woman, her face a black void, and a letter, the paper brittle, stained with something dark. "She's still here," it read. "She wants us to stay." The box changed everything. I couldn't sleep, couldn't write. The house felt alive, its walls watching, its shadows moving. I started seeing things, flashes in the corner of my eye, a figure at the edge of the woods. One night, during a storm, the power died. Lightning lit the house, and in the flash, I saw her. A woman, tall and thin, her face a blank void, standing in the hallway. She was gone when the lights flickered back, but my scream echoed in my ears. I called a priest, Father Thomas from the town church. He came, his face grim, clutching a Bible. He blessed the house, his voice shaking as he prayed. The air grew colder, the walls groaning like they were angry. "This isn't a spirit," he whispered, his eyes wide. "It's something older. Leave." He fled, his cross left behind. That night, the footsteps were deafening, shaking the ceiling. Thump. Thump, thump. And then a voice, clear, female, right behind me. "Stay." The house was a prison. The footsteps never stopped now, day or night. Doors slammed shut, locking me in rooms. Windows rattled, refusing to open. The air was ice, my breath fogging even in summer. One night I woke to my name screamed, "Ethan," from the attic. I grabbed a knife, my legs like lead, and climbed the stairs. The attic door was open, the bolt snapped clean off. The air inside was wrong, thick, rotting, like a grave. The box was open, photos scattered, the child's drawing pinned to the wall. The faceless woman's head was turned, her void staring at me. I ran, but the house fought back. The front door wouldn't budge. Windows wouldn't break. I hid in the closet, sobbing, as footsteps circled outside. "Ethan," the voice whispered, inches from the door. "Stay with me." I saw her through the slats, tall, her face a black hole, her fingers clawing the wood. I prayed, begged, for morning. The scratching stopped at dawn, but I wasn't safe. The encounters didn't stop. In the kitchen, dishes flew off shelves, shattering at my feet. In the bathroom, the mirror fogged, words appearing. "Mine." I tried to leave, packing a bag, but the car wouldn't start. The woods outside felt alive, branches snapping, eyes in the dark. I called Mike again. He came, but the house hated him. The lights died, and he screamed, swearing he saw her in the hallway. He left, begging me to follow. I couldn't. She wouldn't let me. One night, I faced her. I stood in the attic, knife in hand, shouting, "What do you want?" The air turned black, the temperature plummeting. She appeared, gliding toward me, her void face inches from mine. I swung the knife, hitting nothing. Laughter filled the room, cold and cruel. I collapsed, the world fading. When I woke, I was in my bed, the knife gone, the attic door locked. I don't know how I escaped. One morning, the front door opened, the house silent. I grabbed my bag and ran, never looking back. I live in a city now, surrounded by noise, lights, people. But the nightmares don't stop. I see her in my dreams, her void face watching. Sometimes I hear it, a faint thump in the night. I check my locks, my windows. They're secure, but I feel her. She's not gone. She's waiting, and I'm terrified she followed me. I burned the photos, the drawing, the letter, but the words haunt me. She's still here. I don't know who she is, Margaret, Clara, or something older, something that was never human. All I know is she wanted me to stay, and maybe, just maybe, I never really left. That's my story, the terror that broke me. It's real, every word. If you've ever felt something in your house, something you can't explain, share it in the comments. I read everyone, and I need to know I'm not alone. Hit that like button if this froze your blood, and subscribe for more true horror every week. Next time, we're diving into The Thing in the Basement, a story that'll make you rethink what's under your house. Stay safe, lock your doors, and listen tonight. You never know what's walking above you.